All right, very disappointing loss, embarrassing performance. First time since I've been here where I felt like we had some guys that quit on our football team, and that can't be tolerated. It's one thing you can't do, you can't quit. If you quit, you don't play. So we got to do a great job evaluating that film and making sure we got the right guy that's out there battling with us. You know, and every aspect of the game, offense, defense, and special teams, we didn't play well at all. And you must play well against a really good football team. And we did all the things you can't do against a team like that. And that's on me and our coaches and our players and everybody that's here. And we got to find a way to get that right.
All right, question? We'll go to Wayne down here in front.
Coach, the worst home loss in program history. Just, do you still feel like your program is heading in the right direction?
Well, I do. I think a lot goes with it. I mean, part of changing culture is changing our mentality. I think mentally, we're a mentally weak football team, and we're not mentally strong yet, and that's part of changing the culture to get it the way that you want it. You know, there's a lot of good things, and a lot of progress is being made. Not as fast as we want in the win-loss column, but it's being made. Again, this game made too many mistakes and played as well as we needed to.
Go over here to the left.
Coach, what was your message to the team after the game?
Pretty much what I told you in our opening statement there. It was embarrassing. I was disappointed. We're going to find the guys that quit, and we're going to find the guys that kept playing and make sure that we keep those guys in there. So there'll be some changes come next week.
On the right side.
Willie, the play was one thing. You also had a couple guys kicked out for throwing punches. How do you handle that? And what do you do about that as a program?
Well, we'll discipline. We're going to discipline them. Of course, he'll be out of the game, but we'll discipline within our program. You know, that's unacceptable. That's mentally weak. That's what losers do. You know, and that can't happen. That's got to change. And again, that's unacceptable. It can't happen. That was BS.
Go to Sean over here, front row one.
Coach, despite the final score, it was a scoreless game after the first quarter. You guys were in the game and you had some self-inflicted issues that happened early on. Does that make it a little bit tougher as well as us?
Oh yeah, it makes it real tough against a team like Clemson. I mean, you can't make mistakes against that team. You got to take advantage of every opportunity that you have, and we had plenty, and we didn't take advantage of it. You know, we snapped the ball over our head when we had a nice drive going, and all these penalties we had, just undisciplined, drop balls. I mean, we didn't play winning football. I mean, you can say every aspect of it. I mean, everybody took part in making mistakes, and again, against the number 2 team in the country, you can't do that.
Coach, is this the most disappointing performance you've seen all year? It's considering the last few weeks you guys have made obvious progress and then kind of take a step back. Is that a surprise to you?
It is, because we made so much progress. And to be able to come in this game and then we get down and then just lose our cool, lose our, whatever you want to call it. I mean, it was surprising, because I thought we got over that hump, and apparently we didn't. You know, and again, when things didn't go our way, we didn't handle it well. And again, that more than anything, where we got to get better as a football team is just, again, handling adversity the right way.
Go to Bud on the right.
Coach, after seeing the gap between Florida State and Clemson, how long do you think it'll take, seasons-wise, to get Florida State back to a place where it can compete in the ACC?
Personally, I don't think it's going to take long. I think we got some issues that we need to correct. I think we all know that, and get those corrected. I think you'll see a big change in our entire program. But I don't think it's that far away. We got to keep track. We got to keep climbing and keep working and keep recruiting, and that's the only way you're going to get to where we all want us to be.
Well, the defense seemed like it was giving you guys every chance early on, and then they kind of fell apart. Do you focus on that? As far as evaluating the defense, do you focus mostly on the early stages before it got out of hand?
Well, I think you evaluate the entire football game. We're not going to make any excuses for anything. Our defense on the field, they gotta get off the field. No matter how many times you're out there, you gotta get off the field. When it comes third down, get off the football field, you know. So we're gonna evaluate the entire game from the first to the fourth quarter, how we play, you know. We should be playing the same way we played in the first quarter. We should be playing the same way in the fourth quarter, no matter what the score is. You know, and that's the mentality we want with our football team, and we don't necessarily have yet, and we'll get there, you know. But, again, we didn't play well enough, offense, defense, or special team.
Stay over there, Corey.
Willie, you've been doing this for a while. When you feel like, I don't know how many times in your career you felt like a team quit or players on your team quit, how hard is it to turn that around, to get them to not do that?
Well, part of it is those guys just can't play, you know. That's a big part of it. And then you gotta find the winners, you know, find the winners within on your team and make sure when you're out recruiting, make sure you're recruiting winners. You know, that's really important. You can't just recruit off the internet. You gotta make sure you do your work and get the right kind of people in there.
Go back to Sean over here.
Coach, I had a couple injury questions. Do you have any update on DeAndre, Brian, and Dontavius?
I don't. I haven't talked to our trainer yet. I know DeAndre went out. I think he hit his head on the ground or whatever. And then, who else did you ask me about?
Dontavius and Brian?
I know Dontavius, he had a real injury there, so haven't got the final results on him yet. And then, one more time,
Brian Burns.
Brian Burns, Brian's fine. He's fine.
Earl, all right.
Coach, you had 16 penalties for 134 yards. How disappointing is that, especially when they're, you know, just lining up penalties that you guys have continually had throughout the season?
Well, it's very disappointing. Again, we went backwards in this game, went back to what we were doing earlier in the year, some things that we improved so much on in the last few weeks. And to get in this game and make those mistakes, again, is very disappointing. And those things can't happen. There's a lot of guys took turn. Our young guys did it, older guys did it. 16 penalty, that's just undisciplined. You know, you can't win ball games. I don't care who you're playing with 16 penalties.
Stand front row for Kurt.
Looking at the rushing yards, that's somewhat influenced, I know, by Alex's bad snap, by the sacks, but they really completely neutralized what you were able to do on the ground. I mean, how tough does it make it offensively when a team with that much talent is kind of able to completely remove one facet of your game?
Well, it's tough when you're one-dimensional. I don't care what team you are or who you're going against. It's hard to play the game being one-dimensional. And when you playing against a team like Clemson, you can't be one-dimensional. You got to have both going, and we weren't able to get either or, you know. So that's very disappointing from that standpoint and frustrating.
All right.
Willie, you talked about the players. How do you evaluate your coaches during the season? Obviously, you know, the players aren't totally responsible for what happened. So how do you evaluate coaches during the season or wait till after a season?
Well, I think you always evaluate the coaches. You evaluate the players each and every week. You evaluate the coaches as well. And each coach is responsible for their guys. If their guy's not playing well, then that's on you as a coach. You got to get them to play well. That's your job, to get them to play well. So that's ultimately on the position coach to get his guys to do the things that we need them to do. And that's what we have to get to as coaches and as players. You know, if they can't do it, then we need to make sure that someone else is in there that can do it.
Anything else, Coach Taggart? All right, thank you.